welcome back to Healthy Living, Happy Life. In today's episode, I'm going to dive into the fundamental or one of the foundational concepts behind everything that I teach as longevity concierge. And that is the three-legged stool, or often I will say the three pillars of success. But truly, I like to use the vision or visual of a three-legged stool because you can it's easier to have a visual than just saying, oh, the pillars of success or the pillars of foundation, whatever. You can always tell, you know what a three-legged stool is, and can understand a little bit differently than if we're just talking words rather than some people are visual learners. I'm one of those people. So I think this is really a good image to use. So the framework of the three-legged stool offers a holistic approach to health and well-being, because really that's what we're looking for, right? We're trying to make sure that we're in the best health, we are in the best, health and well-being go together. They're not the same thing, but I think it's really important, particularly for those of us women who are navigating perimenopause, menopause, and even postmenopause. It's could be a 20-25 year period between perimenopause and menopause. And then, of course, postmenopause, again, it could happen at any age. For the most part, I mean, I was 50 when I was already postmenopausal, and most women at 50 are just starting to experience really experience menopausal symptoms. So we want to make sure that, again, with the stool, this kind of gives you this holistic idea of ensuring that the aspects of your health are supported and balanced. Balanced and harmony. I'm going to use those two words interchangeably a lot also. So what are the three legs of the stool? Okay. Number one, nutrition. You are going to hear me talk about nutrition. And basically, when I talk about nutrition, I talk about eat real food. But number one, nutrition, making good decisions, and personal accountability. And for women in midlife, keeping these three legs of the stool kind of steady, or steady as we can, is really more important than ever. There are definitely times in life when one leg of the stool is a little wonky and than other times. But at this stage in life, there's so much going on hormonally, emotionally, that it really is a time to try to keep these things in better harmony or better balanced. Before I do dive in, I like to start with a question. Do you ever feel that your health is out of balance? Whether that's your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health. I think I just gave you four. Usually I talk about three. So think of it this way. Maybe you're doing great with exercise. You've got an exercise routine that you love, but you're struggling with eating real food, with your nutrition. We get busy, and when we get busy, we don't pay as much attention. Maybe your mindset when it comes to accountability isn't quite there, especially when it comes to your personal self-care. And we know that if we're not taking care of ourselves, we really can't take care of others. And as women, we've spent most of our lives making sure everybody else is okay, right? And at this stage of life, now we're going, I've taken care of everybody else, haven't really taken care of myself. I'm feeling a little off. So what we want to do is understand that if one part of our health feels wobbly, one, we don't have to worry. You're not alone. A lot of us feel that way. We all have these moments, and it's situational too. What's going on in life this week, this month, whatever's going on. And again, that's why I kind of use the analogy of the three-legged stool. If one gets a little shaky, it's okay. It just means it's time to focus on bringing things back into more balance, more harmony. Again, I like to interchange those words because there's never a complete balance. I mean, there are too many things going on in life, too many aspects of life to balance everything. If it was just life and work, that would be great. But how many things go on in life? It's sleep, it's exercise, it's personal development, it's family, and even work. It's, what are your goals? What are your company's goals? Are you an entrepreneur? So again, it's not about even balance, but it really is trying to balance it better and create more harmony. Because when you think about it, when the legs of the stool are strong, you can actually thrive because you don't have to constantly focus on this one's wobbly, I got to fix it, or this is wobbly, I've got to fix it. If everything's kind of wobbly, that's not good either. Well, I guess if all the legs are kind of wobbly, I'm trying to think of that. Would that actually happen? But often, yes, I guess that could be true. So let me start with this little bit more of an overview. The three-legged stool really is the foundation of what I do with my clients. And it's the basis of my book and the curriculum to my program that's in my book, Healthy Living, Happy Life. So of course, each leg represents nutrition, decision-making, and accountability. And keeping them in harmony just helps us in our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. So it is absolutely normal for things to be out of balance and out of alignment occasionally. Are you struggling with your food? Are you skipping workouts? Is stress taking over in your life? That could be an accountability challenge. That could be a nutrition challenge. It could be a workout, exercise, or movement challenge. So what we don't want is we don't want the wobble of the stool to become that constant struggle where we're feeling like we're always chasing or crashing down, chasing down, crashing down every time, like we sit on the stool, right? We don't want to always feel like there's something we got to work on. If we start to get everything better balanced and better harmony, then it's okay if things just aren't perfect, right? And none of us are looking for perfection. Perfectionism does not exist in this world, although we, as women, we try to convince ourselves that it does. It does not. Perfectionism does not exist, and that's not what we're looking for. But my goal here is to help you strengthen each leg so you can balance better no matter what life throws your way. Okay, so let's dive into each of the three pillars, each of the legs of the stool. And number one, of course, I always talk this is where we always start when it comes to coaching and longevity. We need to be focusing on fueling our body, right? For those of us women in our mid 40s, a lot of women start to notice perimenopausal symptoms in their mid 40s. I was in my late 30s. So yay me, I'm overachiever, start early, right? But for women mid 40s to early 70s, it really is about fueling your body with what works within the construct of the changes that are happening with you. And everybody experiences this differently. We all think, oh, menopause is this one thing. Oh, no, it's not. And those of you who are listening that are going through, you're all kind of shaking your head. I know, right? But the foods that we choose really can impact our hormones, our energy level, mental clarity. And I think that's something, we talk about the brain fog. Maybe something that we're eating is affecting that, right? And if we're eating more cleanly, maybe that some of that brain fog goes away. Truly, these hormonal fluctuations actually make nutrition more critical. But here's where it gets tricky, right? There's a lot of conflicting advice out there. You need to cut carbs, you need to avoid fats, you need to have some crazy, trendy new diet, or you must drink this shake or this new tea. Oh my gosh. Every time I go online, there's something new. My Instagram feed is nothing but, well, recipes. I like to cook recipes and these new diets and these, these coaches that are saying, oh, this program, this thing that I have, works best, for this type of person. And it's a 6 week, in 6 weeks, you're going to transform your whole body. In 6 weeks, yes, you can start to transform your body, but you want to transform your body in a way that works for you, not in a way that works for somebody who's 30, who is still looking awesome and is in a gym all the time, because that's what they do for a living. So let me ask you this. Da, da, da. What if you could just simplify things and just focus on eating real whole foods? And you'll hear me say, eat real food all the time, probably ad nauseum, and I apologize for that. But it does drive home the point, and it makes what to eat very clear. What if, if instead of chasing that next fad diet, you could focus on actually nourishing your body with the nutrients that your body actually needs? Your body is not necessarily lacking protein shake, maybe lacking in some protein. We need to work on that and figure that out. But yes, protein shakes they do have their place in a healthy diet, but that shouldn't be where you're getting all of your protein, right? So the first leg, eating real food that supports your body and your body's natural rhythm. I think that's something that's important, because our rhythms do change a little bit as we get older. Our sleep is a little bit more of a challenge as we get older, especially if we're waking in the middle of the night with night sweats, or if we have to go to the bathroom a couple of times. But you want to eat real food that is really helpful for your body, and those it kind of goes with the circadian rhythms, but really the rhythm of your body. What you eat for lunch and what you eat for dinner, probably going to be different things. I mean, literally they should be, because otherwise how boring would that be? But I mean, you don't want to have a heavy dinner, because that's going to take longer to digest. It may be heavy in your stomach. It may give you some reflux. So, really paying attention to what is going on with your body, and the foods, those real foods to eat and when. And I do talk about, obviously, in the book, about, how real foods reduce inflammation, balances your blood sugar, and supports your hormones. I talk about that. And I think that's important to remember, that it is about all of these things. You want to make sure that your blood sugar is pretty stable. You don't want to have these highs and lows during the day, those 3 o'clock crashes. But it's also not about restricting yourself. Instead, it is about fueling your body with foods that make you feel good, that make you feel vibrant and energized. And yes, dessert does fit into a healthy diet. We'll talk about that more another time. But I want to tell you about my one client, or one of my clients, Lisa. Lisa came to me. She's a busy executive. She's in her mid-50s. She's a couple years older than I am. And like many of us, I'm in this too. I talk to my audience, women 45 to 70, but hey, I'm one of these women in that category. So like many of us, she was dealing with fatigue, and she had some brain fog. I talked about the energy crashes in the middle of the day. She would say by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she was like looking for candy, cookies, another cup of coffee. So what did we do? We started by just simplifying her nutrition, focusing on real whole foods. What are they? Real foods: leafy greens, lean proteins, healthy fats. Initially, we just concentrated on getting one meal right, best right. Within a few weeks, Lisa actually noticed that her energy was improving and her mind was clear. That was enough for her to decide on her own to add a second real food meal into her daily routine. And once she did that, again, this isn't about perfection, right? If you're having 3 meals a day and a snack, It's okay. She's doing two really healthy, nutritious, real food meals. And she realized that 3 o'clock comes and goes. It's 5 o'clock. She's getting ready to walk out the door. More than likely, 6 o'clock, she's getting ready to walk out the door. And she didn't have that energy crash, and she didn't feel like she needed to go for that 3 o'clock cup of coffee to get through the day. Um, and that's the power of good nutrition. It gives your body what it needs to thrive. As a longevity concierge, that's what I want to drive home. It's not about surviving or just getting by. It's about thriving. We think longevity is this, how long we live. And yes, that's part of it. But my question to you is, how well do you want to live during that time? That's thriving. So, okay, on to the second leg of the stool, making better decisions. We could talk about sleep, we could talk about boundaries, TV and social media time, but I would actually like to talk about movement because it is such a big part of who we are as human beings. And again, I talk about making good decisions. It's not that your current decisions are necessarily bad, but there's always room for improvement. And regular exercise is one of the best ways you can make to kind of, I'm going to use this word balance again, balance this good decision making. It's a great place to start when it comes to your good decision making or better decision making. The key here, though, when it comes to movement or exercise, give it a name, is finding something that you enjoy, that you will stick with. Ladies, I'm here to tell you, it is time to stop torturing yourself for hours on the elliptical, on the treadmill, just to burn calories. Exercise is so much more than burning calories. I know that's what we have been taught in the past, calories in, calories out. We've got to burn those calories. Yes, that is true. If you want to lose weight, you do have to burn more calories than you eat. We get that. But when we focus on eating real food and making good decisions, these things fall into line, and you don't need to focus on calorie burn so much. In this time in life, menopause, perimenopause, for us, movement is really essential for maintaining muscle mass, supporting bone health. And this is the one I love the most, boosting our mood. How many times have you've been frustrated or whatever, you don't feel great and, kind of in a bad mood, and you go outside for a walk and it's just a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. You go for a little walk, you come back and you're like, I feel great. I don't remember what was bothering me before. So again, here's the thing. Exercise or movement does not mean grueling hours at the gym. I've never been a gym person. I was a dancer and an athlete when I was young, and through college, I was an athlete. We didn't really go to the gym. Yeah, we had a couple of days where we did strength training, but we did other things that were a lot more fun. And off season, I was a fencer. Season, we would play basketball or we would play soccer. So we were keeping up our cardio, but it was fun. And the reason why this is so important, pushing yourself too hard can actually backfire, leads to burnout, leads to injury, right? We're not 20 anymore. We're in our 40s, 50s, 60s, even into our 70s. And we need to remember what our body is capable of today, right? Denise 10 years ago could run half marathons without a problem. Denise now, marathon is, it's not as fun. It's not as easy. Okay, the one day of 13 miles is really hard. But what's also hard is the training for that. So it doesn't need to be grueling, because at this stage, we really need to be concerned with injury. I've seen it happen to me. As a runner, I get my treadmill workouts in during the winter. During the rest of the year, if it's 45 degrees or above, I can run outside. I know I'm a wimp. If it's colder than 45, I'm on my treadmill. But instead of 6 miles like I used to run. I'm aiming for 3 or 4. Those 10,000 steps that we talk about, that's kind of what I'm looking for instead of that 6 miles because, hey, I can run 6 miles in less than an hour. This is great. Why do I need to spend an hour on the treadmill? Oh my gosh. Um, when I changed and started running 3 and 4 miles on the treadmill instead of 6, I realized a couple of things. One, running on the treadmill is mind numbingly boring. And two, this is important. I just mentioned this a little bit ago, without intentionally adjusting your speed and your incline. Yes, you can set your treadmill up to do that. But if you forget to do that and you just get on and start running, you're kind of running the same flat route the whole time, which is not beneficial if you're trying to, become a stronger runner. But it absolutely increased risk for injury. Why do I say it increased my risk for injury? The only time I've actually really gotten injured is when I've tried longer distances on my treadmill. So instead of thinking of exercise as something you have to do, why don't we reframe it? I love to reframe. Reframe it as this is a gift that you give yourself. This is self-care, right? This isn't selfish. This is self-care. Find ways to move that make you feel good, whether it's walking out in nature, doing a little bit of yoga in the park, or dancing in your living room. For those of you who are just listening to the podcast and not watching the video, yes, I am dancing in my seat here. Think of Hugh Grant in the movie Love Actually. That is such a great scene. I mean, I think of that like just dancing around the place. We could do that at home. Why not? Especially if you're home alone, why not? Or there's always Tom Cruise and Risky Business dancing around. Just get those old records off the shelf. Okay, enough of my singing. Uh, so basically, to recap, movement in midlife is about more than burning calories. It's about keeping your body strong, flexible, energized, bringing a little bit of joy to your day. It should be fun. It should be something that you look forward to. My friend Sarah found her sweet spot when it came to exercise with yoga. After years and years, and Sarah for many years, she would always say she was a bigger girl. And so what she always thought, to lose weight, she had to do intense cardio. And that's when I met her. She was always, we actually were going to a gym at the time, and she was always on the treadmill. When she shifted to a more calming routine that included yoga and daily walks outside instead of all that time on the treadmill, she felt stronger. She actually built more muscle than she had ever done by sporadically lifting weights. And she actually said that her stress level dropped. She just felt good. She didn't feel stress anymore. Of course, stress is not necessarily all the time a bad thing, but if you have stress that's building every day, that's not a good thing. So if you said just being able to go out and do these walks really helped her to drop that stress level. So when things did come at her that were stressful situations did come at her, she was better able to manage them. And it really became a source of joy. And this is the piece that I love when she said, and a non-negotiable. That's the kind of balance that we're looking for here. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and it's something that we're going to do no matter what. 3 o'clock is my time to go out for a walk on the trail. Right? Yeah, sure, you could go and have happy hour, but this is non-negotiable. You could go for your walk and then go for happy hour. So now the third leg of this stool is accountability. So just to recap real quick, eat nutrition, eat real food, making better decisions, and now accountability. This is often the missing piece in many of our health and life journeys, but it's truly, truly crucial, especially at this time in life. Again, we're in a different phase. We are not always we're not taking care of young kids and families. We're not young in our careers anymore. We've kind of gotten to a place where we're pretty comfortable in that. And Accountability can make all the difference in staying consistent and motivated as you navigate these unique changes, your unique changes in midlife. Um, so what is accountability? We always think, oh, I'm accountable to my boss, I'm accountable to my company, I'm accountable to everybody else. But what I mean here, this personal accountability is about being honest with yourself and following through on your commitments to you. And here's the key. I think this is crucial. It's not about, again, I said this before, it's not about being perfect or self-critical. It's about finding the right systems and support that help you stay on track, right? Whether it's a workout buddy, a coach like me, or journaling your progress. I have a journal that, initially when I started with this journal, I thought it was going to be for one specific thing, but this is my everything journal. I love writing down in my journal, and every day, every week I kind of flip back and see what progress I've made in different areas. And that's motivating, right? Having that place to keep yourself accountable ensures really that you don't drift too far off course when life gets busy, because it does, and or overwhelming. The holidays are coming, so it will. What I find is for many women, accountability really can be the bridge between setting those intentions, because we're always setting those intentions, right? We're always setting a goal and actually achieving them. Even if ever told, I guess here's a question. Have you ever told yourself, oh, I'll start exercising next week, or I'll eat better, after I finish this project? But then something else comes up and, you don't get around to it. Oh, then you put it off for the next week. Oh yeah, I just finished this project. Oh, but it's been really stressful. So I'm going to celebrate. And instead of celebrating, with a big, with one celebratory meal, I'm going to have a celebratory meal for the next 3 weeks. Right? I get it. Been there, done that. So believe me, you are not alone. Um, that is where accountability comes in. It keeps you moving forward, even when it's tempting to let things slide. And I have to admit, when I was single, it was a lot easier for me to let things slide and let these other things kind of creep in. Um, but I have a built-in accountability partner and workout partner. Mark and I exercise together, we'd say 3 or 4 days out of the week. And when the weather's nice, we are out on the trail pretty much every day. So I think it's really, it's been a great thing for me in this phase of life, is to have that accountability partner. And again, it doesn't need to be rigid. We don't want to be like, okay, this is absolute 100%. If something comes up every now and then and it's unavoidable, that's okay. Don't stress out about it. But what I think is important about accountability, being accountable to yourself, is it is absolutely empowering. And having that system in place allows you to check in with yourself. Um, I think it gives us freedom. I think it gives us confidence. And knowing that you're aligned, or you're staying aligned with your healthy lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle you want to create, because it is about something that works for you. I can tell you, how I live my healthy lifestyle and say, oh yeah, it works for me. This is great. You should try it. But what if you don't like to run, or, you don't have a great trail that you want to go out on 6 days a week? That's not going to work for you. So it is, again, about finding and staying in line with the healthy lifestyle that work for you, that you create. And that is one of the things I do with my clients, is help them discover what that is. I guess in short, accountability, this personal accountability, really is about showing up for yourself, just like you've shown up for your family, for your kids, for your job. And again, it's not about being perfect, but like everything, it's about taking that one step at a time, right? You have to learn how to crawl before you can learn how to walk. So, and then run. And again, with the right support, you can sustain that healthy lifestyle and those healthy habits that lead to that long-term success, that long-term longevity. Remember that life that you're living in that time frame. So I think that's really, really important. Okay, so how do we bring the three legs of the stool together, right? What are they? One more time, I'm going to say nutrition, making good decisions, and accountability, personal accountability. The key is really to recognize that they work in harmony. So I use that word harmony and balance, but it does need to be harmonious. When you're nourishing your body with real food, whole foods, making thoughtful decisions about how you move, how you rest and care for yourself, and then holding yourself accountable for your actions, that is when you find balance and lasting health. But remember, okay, if one of the pillows gets wobbly every now and then, that's okay. Again, we're not aiming for perfection. What we're building is resilience. Okay. So when something comes up and you slide a little bit, you can very easily, the next day, get back on track, or the next week. A friend of mine who's a coach, one of the things she's always told her coaching clients, her health coaching clients, is make it right the very next bite. So if you fall off the wagon, so to speak, and your nutrition today is not great, you know what? Tomorrow morning, start off, make a good decision. So, when life kind of throws something at you, you can absolutely pick it up very easily, get on track, and without feeling like, things are falling apart, or, I'm a bad person, or, oh my gosh, I didn't do this. And this also keeps us out of the all or nothing mentality. I think many, many women go through this. Well, if, I screwed up today, I've messed up my diet, and, now whatever. And then, instead of making it right the next bite, they just continue to make these not so good decisions. And then they're not accountable to them because they're blaming something else. We never want to get into the blame game. And that's what accountability is about. So before I wrap up, I just want to leave you with this. The three-legged stool is a powerful metaphor for a healthy, happy life. It's about balance / harmony. And that balance is within your control. When you focus on your proper nutrition, making smart, healthy decisions, and keeping yourself accountable, you're not just surviving. Who wants to do that? You're thriving. So if today's episode resonated with you, I encourage you to take a moment and reflect. Which leg of the stool needs the most attention right now? Maybe it's your nutrition. Perhaps your decisions you've been making around movement or rest. Or maybe it's time to build a stronger accountability system. Whatever it is, take one small step today and strengthen that area. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this conversation inspiring and full of tips that you can start using right away. And if you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend. Of course, would love for you to check out my book, Healthy Living, Happy Life, A Practical Path for Finding a Healthy Lifestyle That Works for You. And the other things, I just want to say I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to help you in this next phase of your life to live a healthier, happier life. Until next time, remember, you can create that balance and live the life that you absolutely love. How do you do that? Healthy living, happy life. I'll see you next time.